welcome back to Better Than Yesterday. My name is Michael Janse van Rensburg, and as always, I am joined by my good friend Daniel Hammond. And today we are here to talk to you guys and give you guys a review of the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. Daniel, how you been doing, brother?
Good, I've been doing great, man. I've been really busy around the house, fixing up some things. We've been doing a bit of renovations. And I've just been going to the gym as well. Been on my schedule. So I've been feeling good, bro. I must say, been super confident these days. I've just been on, I think, a high still from, when the year starts. But how have you been, man?
Stuff, man. No, it's good to hear, bro. Glad to hear you're doing well. Also been very well, man. Same kind of vibes. My university only starts in 1 week, so just been hitting the gym, reading these books. I've been really enjoying reading this book, and I'm keen to get into giving our thoughts and that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, going to the gym, doing some journaling where I can. To be honest, I'm a little bit bored these days because I don't have enough things to fill up all the time. But yeah, with university starting in a week, I'll definitely be busy coming up for that. So yeah, man, very, very well. So to get into what we're talking about today, man, this is kind of a new series, that we're starting. Am I right, man? We're starting a new series where we're going to be reviewing a book, at least one book a month, and we're going to be going through it and giving our thoughts, going through different books on self-improvement, investing, finance, all these kind of things, books that we recommend and books that we think are of value for our listeners to read, man. So the first book that we are doing is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson, here, bro. It was a book that you actually recommended for us to read. So yeah, man, I really, really enjoyed it, man. But yeah, how about you get us started in terms of some of the thoughts and some of the things that stood out to you, bro?
Yeah, man. So as we said in the previous video, we're just keen to bring out lots of new topics and new series. So this is definitely a series that we've thought of this year, and that I think I'm really excited about it because we'll be learning a lot in these books. It's like they say, you still living in about a month's time. Once you've done reading the book, you've got a man's entire lifetime of wisdom instilled within you just because of that book. So it's really a treasure. So yeah, to start us off is Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, bro. It's such an easy read because it uses basic vocabulary. So it's easy to understand, easy to comprehend. You don't have to take out the dictionary and quickly search what the one word means. So yeah, I think it's for us youth, it's quite easy to read. You don't need to have a huge vocabulary yet. So yeah, it's really understandable, man. Yeah, that's the first point I've got, bro.
I like it, man. Yeah, that was one of the things that stood out in the book for sure. Like, I think it's what I want to say is like it's a very good entry level, self-improvement book, man. So like you say, I think for young people who are maybe just getting into the idea of self-improvement and all these kind of things, I think it's a very good book to read. Like you say, it doesn't throw all these big words at you that you're not going to understand. And I think what it does well is it teaches you those basic mindset switches that you need, like when you're first starting on that journey of self-improvement. So, I mean, obviously the title is called, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, which can come across as quite like forward, but I think he teaches you like a lot of, these like really good mindset switches of how you can, stop caring so much about like what other people think of you and how you can start, being like really confident in yourself, not worrying about, things that you can't control, all these kind of things. So yeah, I must say like those basic mindset switches that you need, in the beginning of your journey, I think he teaches you very well. So for anyone who's just at the beginning of their journey with self-improvement and that kind of stuff, I think it's a good starting point, and one that you should definitely give a read, man. Another thing I want to say is, the thing is that the book doesn't pull any punches, I think he's quite quick to, place the responsibility on you. And I think that's one of the problems that he acknowledges in the world is that, people often are quick to try and put the blame on everyone else, But in this book, he even says like, no, that's the wrong thing to do, Like look at yourself and see, hey, like actually there's, no one's special. Like there's problems with, you might be looking at other people and seeing all of their problems, but you got your own problems and they're just as bad, man. So that's another thing that I liked about the book, is the fact that he doesn't pull any punches. He's quick to point the finger at himself, at you, rather than at the world around you, which was something that I really, really enjoyed about the book, man.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's also something that really stood out to me, and I've got a few other points as well that stood out to me in the book, which I want to take and apply in my life as well, which I have
Yeah.
already applied. But it's like a reminder, like you said, it's entry level
Mm-hmm.
book. So for someone that's starting the journey now, it's really a recommended book to start. So yeah, you have to take responsibility for your life, no matter where life throws you. At the end of the day, you'll realize that life is unfair. Life is not easy. Life is a struggle. That's what it is. And for every single person, it is. So always, I used to put people on a pedestal because I thought, no, their life is perfect. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
problems. It's just me. But that's the wrong idea, because that puts you in the victim mentality, which is so really bad, because it just leads you down this rabbit hole, and it just this dark path. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to take that responsibility and take charge of your life. No matter where you start, you
Mm-hmm.
are the one that can make the day, and you have to realize that. So yeah, you have to identify the problems that you have in your life. For example, past traumas that you've went through. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe your parents, like a parent died early. That's like quite difficult,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not your fault that it happened. That is true, but how you react, that is in your hands. So
Mm-hmm.
you decide how are you going to take this new problem on, or what happened. You're going to decide how you mourn that death, or how you stand up from being bullied. Are you just gonna keep being a little wimp and allow more people to bully you because you're just that soft guy? Or are you going to start making changes and start being a stronger person, more confident in yourself, stand up to the bully and say, look, bro, what you're doing is not right. I don't like that. Are you going to keep letting that fear drive your life, or are you going to be courageous and get past that fear and tell that person, no, even if you punch me now, it's not what you're doing. I'm going to stand up for myself. Even if they um, beat you down physically, that day you'll walk away the better and the stronger person, because you were able to talk back and stand up for yourself and say, this isn't right. I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going down without a fight. That's going to start building you up. That's the small victories that's going to be in your life. So yeah, you have to work through those problems, and yeah, you have to then start seeing where I can make changes, how I can work on my weaknesses instead of just letting it stay a weakness the rest of your life, because each and every one of us have certain areas in our life which we need to work on. So we have to be really honest with ourselves and keep questioning ourselves so that we can see where we need to improve and start improving, and just not ignore that, because that's how you're going to be a better person than you were
Yeah,
the
man.
previous day.
Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the principles that he talks about in the book, which I think he does really well. And I think, yeah, the way that he, gives those principles out is very like effective as well. So yeah, that's one of them that you're saying there, in terms of like how you react to things. You have these problems that come about in your life, which you can't control, these terrible traumas that'll happen. But yeah, what you do control is the way that you let that affect your life. Are you going to let it keep you down forever, like you say, or are you going to stand up to it and eventually overcome that, man? So yeah, I like those principles that he gave in the book. And I think what's good about them is they're all very relevant. I think sometimes you can read self-improvement books or self-improvement ideas, and it feels like the things that they're talking about aren't that relevant to your own life. I often find that, at least, it's like these like big, like convoluted things that like don't really apply to my life as a 19-year-old trying to get by or whatever, what I'm saying? Whereas like I found the principles that he actually spoke about were things that I had experienced, like problems that I had come across, and like mental health issues, that like were actually like very relevant to my life and that kind of stuff. So I think just the topics that he decided to go with, I think were very relevant. And I think they'll make sense for a lot of young people, people our age, even people, yeah, from ranging up to the age of like 30. I think it'll be very relevant and it'll make sense to them because it's stuff that they're actually going through.
Yeah, no, that's true, bro. Like you said, it's applicable for a younger person because he talks about his journey growing up and how how it was for him in his 20s. And
Yeah.
another point that he makes that stood out to me is that he says you have to choose values and prioritize things which are internal and which you can control. For example, like I've just mentioned, your weaknesses, you can start working on that, or you can start what I've done now is you look someone in the eye and just don't look down because you don't have to. And then once they greet you, you greet them. So that's the little things that you can start doing
Mm-hmm.
instead of choosing external values, which can in the end set you up for failure and disappoint you. For example, you you say, okay, I want to get this girl's number, and then she doesn't give you a number, and then you're sad because you got rejected because that
Mm-hmm.
was your aim, that was your goal. So you can't control how someone else thinks. So instead, you
Mm-hmm.
could have said, no, today I'm just going to go and approach this girl just because I want to. I want to be friendly. And I'm actually scared to approach the girl, but because I'm scared, I'm going to go and approach her. And
Mm.
then you approached her. That was your goal.
That's the
So
victory.
that's what you did. That's a victory.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
matter if you come with the number or not.
It's true
So
stuff, man.
yeah, that's another point that stood out to
Definitely,
me.
man. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I think like you say, when you spoke about basing your values and all these kind of things on the external and the internal, I think that was a very good point. And yeah, I'm sure if you guys read the book, you'll definitely learn a lot from that chapter. I definitely did. Another thing, yeah, that I want to say about the book is it is quite entertaining. I think obviously you can sort of see by the title that it's a little bit like tongue in cheek, and it's not the most like seriously like hardcore written book. He tells like funny stories about like his growing up, experiences that he's had with in the dating world, for example, or in the business world. And yeah, man, he's got some really funny stories and anecdotes that make it a very entertaining read. So it's not one of those books that you're gonna have to slog through. He gives examples of like famous superstars. He'll tell their story, and then only after that he'll tell you like, and this is the story of actually this like rock guy who makes rock music that you probably know of. You know what I'm saying? So like he tells these stories very well that make it also like interesting to read, and you can see the examples of the principles that he's teaching in the lives of in his own life and also in the lives of the people that he chooses to tell a story about, man. So that's what makes it like also an
Yeah,
entertaining read for sure.
definitely, bro. So it's a casual read, if I can say it like that. It's not as theoretical and, like you said, deep and where you really have to think about it. He makes his points relevant. Like you said, he gives you a story before, and then out of the story, he gives you a lesson, which
Yeah.
is good. And dude, how many times do we find ourselves lying in bed or just sitting at home thinking, damn, I just don't want to go to the gym today, or
Hmm.
I just don't want to do my chores today. Like, I'm not feeling inspired, so I'm not going to do it because that motivation isn't there. But then there's this good strategy which he uses, and it's called do something. So I'm just going to explain it briefly, but in the book it's definitely more detailed. So it's basically where you decide to do something small. So even if you're feeling uninspired, you're feeling tired, unmotivated, you just tell yourself, okay, I see my shoes not in my room, so I'm gonna take these shoes and I'm gonna put it in my room now.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you feel like, okay, cool. No, I've actually done something for the day.
It's true.
Then maybe, yeah, it's just these small things. So maybe the
Taking the
milk
action.
carton isn't in the
Mm.
fridge. It's just standing out there, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna put this in the fridge, and you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna be able to do something today. And then because you did the small things, it makes the difficult bigger things a bit more easier to do, then you're like, okay, I'm gonna put on my shoes, I'm gonna wash my face, I'm gonna brush my teeth,
Amen.
and I'm gonna get in the car and drive to the gym. Or you can take a walk. It doesn't matter. It's just an example. So then, instead of having inspiration as a prerequisite, like
Mm,
it's something that needs to be there, inspiration is going to be a reward
mm,
because you did the smaller thing. You're going to be rewarded with inspiration to do the bigger thing. Then it's, yeah, so you're going to then be inspired to do it. So
yeah.
it's going to come because you took action already. So you take action, and that's what leads to motivation and inspiration. Because then, because doing the small thing, it's like you think, okay, no, I'm able to do it. I feel good now because I did this little thing. And
Yes.
that goodness then later, it's like a snowball effect, leads to becoming
Yeah.
more and more in the mood to do what you need to do, bro.
Definitely, man. I think another great point that he makes then, like you said, that's probably one of the ones that stood out to me as well, is yeah, I think taking action, we should probably, that's probably a topic we can make a whole video about that, the thing of like taking action
Yeah,
rather than, you can sit and think about things, like you said, just lying in bed, like, oh, I should be doing this kind of thing. But as soon as you actually
yeah,
take even that small first step, pushes you forward, man. So many great points that he's made in the book, man. I mean, we've only mentioned such, like, a few of them, to be honest. So this is a book that I would highly recommend. Like I said, entry level. If you, even if you have already spent a bunch of time, in the sphere of self-improvement and all these kind of things, I think it's a great book to read. I think Mark Manson does a great job of making it relevant to people our age, man. So yeah, definitely for the first book that we're doing here at the book club of BTY, man. I think it's
yeah.
definitely one we're going to recommend for you guys.
Yeah, no, I definitely recommend it as well too. In total honesty, I loved the book, and it was, like you said, a fun read. So
Yeah,
definitely go try it out. If you feel that it isn't for you, we'll be coming up with other book titles as well later on this year. But please definitely do give it a try.
yeah,
And yeah, so this is basically a new series, like we've said. And Michael, I'm excited about this. I think I
me
really
too, man.
enjoy this idea and
Yeah.
what we've got going with this. Yeah, so for our next book will be, or we've already actually started for February. We're
Mm-hmm.
reading Jordan Peterson's book 12 Rules for Life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we won't say anything about it now. So definitely be sure to watch the next video
Yeah.
because it's gonna be about that. And
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
if you made it to the end, thanks for taking this like time out to just listen to us reviewing a book and recommending it to you guys. Definitely appreciate that. If you enjoyed it, please share it to your friends and give a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do that. And be sure to check out our previous video. We'll put a link in the YouTube video, like in the in the caption as well, man.
Always, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Thanks so
thanks
much
for the
for the
talk, bro.
conversation, man. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next episode.